Howdy, Razier. How you doing? Is the game too loud? Probably too loud. I should probably turn the game down. Give me a second. The game turns off the audio when it's not directly in charge of the screen. Let me just adjust the sound here a second. How does this sound? Maybe a little quieter? So you can hear me good. That's good to know. Just making sure. I should actually put the game as the front screen now, because here I am. Hello. Welcome to my streaming. We're going to be playing Call of Juarez Gunslinger, one of my more well-liked games, if we're being honest. It's a bit of an obscure little gem. Big fan of it. Also, somebody in the chat say something. I'm just making sure the chat's working. Assuming y'all can hear me. Thank you, Brazier. That's mighty kind of you. So yeah, like always, we're doing this to help raise money for my top surgery. No donations aren't required, but they are appreciated. Well, that's a good one. That's a good one, Yiza. Thank you very much. You're wonderful. But yeah, let's get the show on the road. Play a game. Story mode. We're going to be playing new game, because I like starting over fresh. Could do New Game Plus, start with all the upgrades and stuff, but then that's jumping right on in. Gotta ease yourselves into the gunplay. Now here's a question. Will that erase the collectibles I've got? That's a good question. Well, it might be the whole stream if people are interested. I can stop if it gets a little grating. This is just a bit of a joke on my part. Okay, let's get on with this. I've already beat the game on normal. I gotta stick to normal though. We're here for having fun. I realize you recommended more challenging difficulty levels, but no thanks. Nah, I'm here to have fun, and I don't remember how to play. Abilene, Kansas, 1910. Don't!
Easy, boy.
Oh, no, the paper aim's still there. Just not looking right for it properly.
Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
Ah, what are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar. Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels, boy. First man I hunted was back when I was riding with Billy the Kid.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawmen who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
And so we began. Something that this game does that I quite appreciate is that you can find actual historical information in it. Little nuggets of truth, as the game calls them. I've already got all of them. When we're done, we'll probably look at a few. Actually pretty cool. Alright, I'm just having flashbacks to when I played this game from a channel. You have to press enter to start the game after finishes loading. I completely forgot that.
It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs.
Ah, yeah. It counts all the ones we already got. So we got a big boost of experience.
I threw in with the kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I tell you why I want that sumbitch dead, let me tell you what happened that day. I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly I had this funny feeling.
Funny, haha?
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
So, I will say this, Yiza. A big part of this game, and a lot of the information it provides, is very explicitly mentioning Wild West was not all that fancy a thing. Rather shitty, and by the game's own words, the Native American folk are the only true heroes of the Wild West. That is an explicit quote from the game. But don't worry. It's making sure not to fall into those. Press O to see current objective. Turn to the hideout. Ah, it's over there. We got a lot of experience points from my previous playthrough. We'll take a look at these after the first level. Won't let me leave. Okay, we'll get something. Yeah. There we go. Easy, it's fine. Moo cow. Hey there, little cow. Yeah, it was... They actually do a lot to dispel the myth of the Western in this game, as we'll see.
You heard that. Need to stay here and keep an eye on the road.
That's not fair. We're missing all the fun.
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
We're a sneaky cowboy.
Hell, shoot that sumbitch!
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast. Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead.
They're coming from
I decided to help Billy and the boys out of it. So that's just what I did.
Hey, we have one behind us. Stay on it. Cover fire.
kid's apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I think I winged it.
Well, he's not actually Deadeye, because you have to aim yourself. Pretty cool. I'm not a great shot. To be fair, I think roller skates did exist back in this time. Wouldn't be impossible. Something the game does that's nice is it uses this color to tell you the ways you can go.
Watch out! He's one of them.
Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads
They
cut
send
off.
these some bitches running.
Oh shit.
Still, one of them reached the water tower. Not a bad idea. It would be a turkey shoot from up there.
Just as an aside to everyone watching, if the game seems a little choppy, I think it might be that the face technology going on isn't quite working with this.
Luckily, these
Might be a little
shooters
too
Garrett hired weren't the sharpest
high
tools
quality.
in the shed.
Well, the thing
Right
about
position is very important. Personally, I prefer to be on top.
Oh, you do?
Indeed, darling. But where was I? Oh, yeah.
ouch. Now, just to answer a question in the chat, this isn't VATS. I do have to aim myself. The game does not auto-aim for me. This is all skill. Once I find out where they are.
Damn ears are ringing.
A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks.
Too damn close.
A little bit of time manipulation. Where're the rest of y'all? Ah, there you are. Oops.
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you!
Try aiming, you idiot.
Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house.
Pausing just for a second here to point out some stuff. And okay, fair. I'll use it sparingly. Fuck, I've kind of fallen into it and it's hard to get out. Anyway, when we first loaded the level, as he was explaining the stuff appeared, and now he voiced the line that was said in game because this is a story that's being told, and it's one of my favorite parts of this game. We'll get more of that later as we go. But yeah,
In the window.
let's get a move on.
Watch your flank.
I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo.
You ain't going nowhere.
Where'd they go? Ah! Excuse me, sir.
I put you down.
Probably shouldn't be up here with this powder keg.
You think you can kill me too?
Yeah.
It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house.
Ow.
And like that,
You'll
I
all
was
be
inside.
dead, you bastards.
None the worse for wear.
Deader than a rat in a trap.
I passed Dirty Dave,
Hey, Dirty Dave.
and upstairs I
that?
found Billy
Huh? You
and
like
Charlie
that?
Bowdre.
And there's Billy the Kid himself. I love these little appellations for the historical figures.
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm. I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming.
I think I got one. Where the hell did Derek get to? He's missing one
Uh-oh.
That's when Charlie got hit.
Oh no!
"They're catching us in a crossfire," shouted Billy. "Get to the other side."
There we go. Ah! Got one more. Bang.
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers
Oh!
that person put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
Oh dear.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. "They got a Gatling," Billy shouted.
Oh shit!
"Get
Oh
the
no!
horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention." He directed that order at me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do it?
Gonna make a run for it. Those poor sons of bitches.
Many would have fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack is just joshing with you.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Graves, please continue.
Rude.
Please, call
Hey, buddy.
me Silas, man. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
Gonna cut you a new
Bonk. Right. Effie. Yeah.
Making my way past the castle of fallen foe.
Fuck yeah. That's cool.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up. Finally, I had the stables within my reach.
Time to get some horse.
And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star.
Pat Garrett.
You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
Here's the other part of this game that rules. You do the gunfights, the shootout, the showdowns, as it were. pretty tricky. Got him.
And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again.
I love this.
Finally reached
This
those
is so
damn
good.
stables.
Hell yeah, gonna get some horses.
I stepped inside, and
Pomp.
last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
Okay, 58% accuracy is not the best in the world. I am going to, unfortunately, turn off the V phase, the VTuber face a second here, just to get to see if the game plays a little smoother without it. So give me just a second here. And yeah, okay, yeah, 58% is pretty accurate for these old guns. So yeah, give me just a second. Wrong one. There we go. Okay. Let's see if this makes the game a little smoother. Also, let's buy some of these skills. I always forget which of these is like I prefer. I know I like the sniper stuff. Okay, yeah, we need to get this. Don't need that. But I do want that. This'll be cool. Also, this is something I really like. You can unlock the ability to button mash to load your bullets faster because you are putting individual shots in. Let's get this as well. I'd love more dynamite. I like explosions. There. All kitted out for the most part. Now then. And you know what? There are more than 6 shooters. This game has the Ranger, which is, I believe, like an 8-shot pistol. Of course, it has the quick shooter, which is the standard 6-shot revolver. There's also the regular. Oh wait, no, this is a 6-shooter. I believe the quick shooter is like 4 bullets, if I recall. There's also a shotgun and a shot-up shotgun. There's also, as was mentioned, just the standard rifle. Now, these are pretty basic weaponries, all things considered. But I think it works. I think it's not bad. Not a bad spread. Could be cool to have some of the more ridiculous things, like, as Knight says, the 20-shot revolver. And no needler, unfortunately. No needle guns. You know what? Sure. Switch it to hard mode. I will not regret
this. Did Garrett
this.
arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to. Bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
No, don't leave.
And the kid surrendered?
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Hey, you'll see. And yeah, that's the thing. This game is going to be surprisingly grounded, all things considered.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after.
Don't like being in a stinky
He was
jail.
with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move.
I see.
He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
Thank you.
My first order of business was finding a firearm.
Need gun. Need gun. Hello, gun? No, that's straw. Straw is not gun. Ah, yes. Lantern.
Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
This is the only gun to get this sort of thing. It's ridiculous.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Anybody see Billy?
Hi!
Shot Jim Bell!
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn. Guards were everywhere looking for it.
Yeah, this gun is sentient. It's a named weapon. It's Bob Ollinger's gun. That means something, technically.
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms.
I like that the path just like
I was a fugitive.
appears. Oh, whoopsies! That was a whoop. That didn't happen. Got a little too fast for the game there. Also went the wrong way.
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever going to find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there.
Oh, the only way out is through here.
I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past.
This town doesn't have a moment's peace.
Sneaky, sneaky. Ah. Many gun ammos. Peterson and Son. Peter's Cartridge Division. Uh-oh.
But hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
You hooligans can go to hell.
Oh, there it is. Uh-oh. Okay, that's not working.
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and color.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
There's children here.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse.
A horse,
I
of
never
course,
did
of course.
have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
Uh-oh. Silas does not like horses. That's fascinating.
Innocent people.
I mean, it sure kicks like a donkey. That's for sure. I think I go over here. Yeah.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free.
Respect for decency?
So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town.
Well, ain't that just beat all?
In for the kill. I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one could put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy. And all that blame would fall on him.
Up there. Yeah, there's nothing over here. Oh,
We can take him.
well, for what it's worth, he's this is not a heroic thing that our hero is doing here, and he knows that. Uh-oh.
I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Well, sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said. I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
We don't want to kill someone dishonorably. Ah. So these are difficult. I've never been the greatest at them.
I killed him in a fair
That was
fight.
close.
Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
Womp womp. Right.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Ruales?
Oh, no, that was to the game,
I was
not
hired to
you.
help them track down the cowboys.
The Cowboys. You know the ones.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Colonel Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
Killing people for money's nice, but this is personal.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. And yes, he was working for old man Clanton.
I will note that because of the period that this game takes place in, there is some language that is used that is a little bleh, and I believe that's going to be coming up soon. But other than that,
I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man.
Over there! There!
I did my best to help those poor passengers.
Show yourself, coward!
Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did.
uh-oh.
They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force.
I love the game just being like, oops, we misunderstood what Silas said. We loaded some Apache instead of the cowboy guys. Let me just correct that.
See, at the time, I was still pretty green and would often blunder into regrettable situations.
It's fun.
But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo, but I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe both done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge. But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to find my way past these other assholes first. Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo.
And then your bullets start running out.
Perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men.
As he says you're running out of ammo, you start losing ammo.
A tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me.
Uh-oh.
Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim.
Oops. You're not supposed to die there. I did a mistake.
Serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
I missed it, but this rock just slides over as he says that.
Stand and fight!
That's excellent.
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this?
Where's he gonna run to now?
I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going.
Oh! There is slight fall damage, and that was enough of a fall to die. Oopsies. That's on me. Uh-oh. That's embarrassing. What? Oh, goodness. I'm playing awful.
And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven, I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition.
Just spawns out of the sky. This game's goofy as hell, and I love it.
Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know.
We found all the ammo we needed. Hell yeah.
And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo.
Everybody's favorite friend.
A stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right, Jack. I was done running. The old man's boy.
It would be.
Not
That would be
expecting
pretty
that.
funny.
No, sir. I came at them like a wildcat. My fury knew no bounds. It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Who's ready to fight a Gatling gun?
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, "Clanton, I'm
Yep.
coming for you!"
Ow.
But I knew I could not let that deter me. Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Whoops. I'll just move myself a little bit to the right there. There we go. That should be better. Ah! Ow, ow, ow. That poor cactus. How could you hurt Cactuar like that? Ah!
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon. But it was just me.
Uh-oh. Okay, that went poorly on my part. Uh-oh. Pressing the wrong button is not a good way of going about this. Ow, 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 ow. Please stop shooting me, sir. There we go.
Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive.
Have fun,
And told
Trobby.
Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps. And that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
You're gonna get that. And that's, level 3, I think. It's entirely reasonable that we could finish this game in one day, by the way. It's not a very long game. The true reason behind Silas's pursuit of the cowboys wasn't money, but for revenge on one of his arch-enemies, Johnny Ringo. Hey, you'll see, Knight. You'll see. Right, I have to press enter. I keep on forgetting that.
A few weeks after that dust-up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo. I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill, and they were loaded for bear.
Technically, it should be loaded for boar.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. But first I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Herb's coming!
Get ready, boys.
Have a grenade. Oh, oopsies. No, the Alamo's already happened by this point. Oops, I screwed up my controls there a second.
Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise. And after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge. So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil.
Uh-oh. I am not yellow. I am purple and black.
What became known as the Vendetta Round, hunting those outlaws down.
Uh-oh.
So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
Give me just a moment here. Where would this option be? Yeah. Nope. It's a little too tough. I'm a coward, but I'm here for fun. That is my accidentally hitting the caps lock key, and I'm sorry. I will endeavor to stop hitting it by mistake. I do feel bad about it. Uh-oh.
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the Cowboys identified each other. And I was beginning to wish I had one myself. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Now, I have no idea what that means.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Is that what you call it? Being loyal? Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot.
That's a bit rude. This is probably going to kill me. Or not. Oh, no, this, yeah. Oh, the wrong way. There we go. You gonna find you, Curly Bill? You got a mustache. You're famous for having a mustache.
Where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Jack is Knight in the audience, and it's pretty great. And I say that affectionately. I love my friends.
Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Uh-oh, ouch. It has been a while since I played this game. A little rusty. Whoa! I know, that's accurate for me.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people.
Oh, I could have
behind
shot
them.
this.
That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
I like how Silas is like, I like this sawmill. This sawmill is pretty cool. Good place for a shootout. I also like
Where
how
was
early...
Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience.
I also liked how when he got distracted by Dwight's question, the enemy stopped showing up. It's good. Good bit
I'm
of
painting a picture
pacing.
here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
I love this. I'm trying to paint a picture here, and then just pretty picture. This game has fun. Okay. River bad. Don't touch river. My mistake. I like that the shotgun counts as a the shot-off shotgun counts as a pistol. This is my pistol. This is what a pistol looks like. Should take the rifle then as well. Ah, it's over here. Right. It's been so long since I played this game.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
And there he is. Takes a shot before he takes a shot. Curly Bill.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, shot-off shotgun, not that great right now.
Why is he still standing?
Where are you, Curly? There you are.
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
No Ringo, but we did bag
I
Brocious.
knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
Well, this is a different Ringo. And there's Ringo himself. Next in line to take over and take a bullet.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Got him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo.
True story. No skill points. Well, these aren't
I was
legends.
paid a
They're the
healthy
hard
bounty
fact.
for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
The innocents. Air quotes.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Killing Johnny Ringo closed the first chapter of Silas' saga of revenge and started him on a bloody... I could not read the rest. Also, as the tooltip there politely says, the damage that happens on your screen is not the typical bloody jam that happens in many first-person shooters, but is instead rips and tears in the paper, because this is a story.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits, and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him.
Ah, piracy. Piracy! The cowboy of the sea.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine. Besides, George is
As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal.
Ah, these little goobers.
Who the hell is that then?
Don't let him get a shot up!
Ow. Fall damage really is monstrous in this game sometimes.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it.
What a good joke. Like, that just actually rules.
It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks.
Oh, that's not a
from
person.
Town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow and Blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable.
Uh-oh.
Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Dangerous, desperate individuals. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other.
Ouch. Okay, that was a little too close to that one.
He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was touched, or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny.
Hell yeah, Destiny.
But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in,
Love
but
that.
also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
No.
Besides,
You're dead.
once you enter
silly.
a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Let's not fall into the mine shaft, folks.
Time to blow your shit up. I do not deserve to die like this.
I think this is where we need to go.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense.
Ouch.
Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked.
Ouch. My mistake there. There.
I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
And,
With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at.
this is a dangerous place to be. It's gotta be good, though.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube.
I love that. I love that so much.
My plan of attack is not just moronic, but clearly insane.
Whoop! Hell yeah. Oh! Ouch.
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
I love this. Give you a game over because that's not what happened.
I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side.
Because after all, like he said, that'd be stupid. Why would we go there?
It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me.
Okay, in my defense, it was the game
that
that
ladder
time.
required some caution.
Explicitly.
Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith, which ain't easy when you're suspended between heaven and hell. I was determined not to give up, however.
Dang it. I just did the jump bad. Forgot to hold forward.
That Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
Another choice. What do we do, folks? Do we take an elevator or do we climb a ladder? I'm curious. What y'all thoughts? Sure thing.
I picked the more convenient and more dangerous route.
Good job. Look what you've done, Knight. More dangerous. I'm pretty sure they did. Like, it's just a basic rope elevator.
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Ah! God damn it! One of these days I'm going to not die like a fool.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
I know. Yeeza's right. The idea of entering a modern elevator is pretty funny. And yeah, did you catch that? We said the wrong place for this guy. Oops. I'm sure that doesn't mean anything. That's pretty cool, actually, Knight. And here's our man. Lawman. Outlaw. Scallywag. Henry Plummer and his very large hat. I love this man's design.
This is gonna hurt. This day is just getting worse and worse for you. Ain't it?
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
Oh, guess you've had enough. Oh.
Uh-oh. He's calling in his minions.
Take this cocksucker out!
Didn't know he called you a show-off for shooting the dynamite. Uh-oh. I shot it in the middle of my face. Oops. Oh god, many explosions. Ah, damn it! I didn't notice the grenade was there because I got distracted by the interesting conversation in chat. Damn it.
shoot, but can you aim? You kill him, or I kill you.
And there we go.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold.
Woo! Bang bang.
Now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
We're officially a bounty hunter. Hooray!
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself.
John Wesley Hardin.
Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Be quick or be dead. Alright, I need to press the enter button.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Ah, I thought the Texas Rangers got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe.
Watch where you shoot.
It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and
And there's Hardin, who...
wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer.
I love this.
By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. Fathers and husbands, brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them. Families who put up money in hopes of finding justice. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Aw, cows. Cow friends.
It's cold out here. I'm freezing my giblets off.
Ain't right, we gotta stay out here keeping watch like this. Ain't nobody stupid enough to go after Hardin anyway.
Better 3 hours early than a minute too late. They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. Most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. And that was easier said than done, as most of them were as foolish and full of bravado as I was. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome presence.
I'm gonna shoot you dead. Is that dynamite? Tell Harden someone's coming for him.
Stop that bitch!
Ah, where's the guys?
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
Definitely around here somewhere. I'm just gonna switch to Ranger.
I can kill you with either hand.
Hey! I see you.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
No. Not. I don't know what. If you have to ask, the question is. The answer is no.
The fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
It's okay. No problem. Thank you for asking. That was very responsible. And now we're back in Abilene.
Before I could test my mettle against Harden,
Fireworks!
I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers.
I don't think he did.
Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley would have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
This is true. Basically, I'm just saying, don't be an ass, is all I'm saying. Ow. I trust y'all.
Shoot him! Shoot him!
I think I already mentioned that I found Harding in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me.
Ow, damn it. Yeah, that's reasonable. Also, ow, I died. Fun fact, when he says that this is the saloon that the game, this conversation is taking place in, I'm pretty sure there's bodies on the floor that look like the people in the room. It's a cute little touch. No, Jesus. I should probably pay more attention to the shooting. I hit no one. Ah, there you are.
In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
There we go.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead.
Oh, we didn't kill the guy we're looking for.
That was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
But hey, here's Hardin. First kill at 15. Killed a man for snoring, and 40 more for breathing. John Wesley Hardin.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Oh.
That man was faster than greased lightning.
Woo.
But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
Dodge his bullets and
So he didn't
do
die?
a shoot.
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
And so we got the guy, but it wasn't one that you had to kill, so no like takedown bonus for that. Wow, my accuracy was really bad on this one. I do have a skill point. Ah, I need this. Forgot about that. Nah, I got that. Don't worry. And now, onwards to the next stage. Yes, I had to be paper again, Fury. Also, hello,
some
Fury.
say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Don't be racist, Ben.
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
I did not show my real face, and the VTuber face was too much for this game, unfortunately. All things being equal, Dances with Renegades is a really funny name. Yeah, this is the level that is a little but we'll see. You'll see.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
A long time ago, on a mountain far, far away.
Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death.
Ah, no, I need to... Okay. Okay. Let's get a move on. Yeah, they did. We don't have to talk about that, and we can instead focus on this, because this part is actually pretty cool.
Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution, and were more than willing to die for him.
Noodles is a good name for a wolf. That is correct. Birds. I like birds.
They saw me before I saw them.
Oh, they're all still up there. Okay. Yeah, I did not realize it would do that, and I'm going to fix it. Don't worry. I will fix that after the stream. Sorry about that. That was not what I intended to do when I pressed that button. I did not realize it would do that. Still new to this sort of thing.
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
Thank you. Thank you, Yiza. I forgot that you're a mod and can do that. Whoa! Hello. Ah. Yes, you can. You're a cool friend. Very powerful.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there. I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Yeah, it's weird. Twitch is not a good place. If you give me, if you wish to. I don't know if that actually shows up in video. Anyway, on that subject, Twitch is bad, but if you want to support me, feel free to give me money at the link below that sends money directly to my Patreon. It will help support my top surgery fund, which would be much appreciated. Thank you all kindly. Ow.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment. But I did find the entrance to their hideout.
There's a stone wall just sliding aside. Ah, who is shooting me and where? Ah, there.
Deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Whoa. Tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Well, they're not bandits. And Silas himself says that he feels shitty about doing this, but then he also feels shitty about a lot of things. Whoop. How do I get to there? There we go.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
That line's silly. Oh.
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
Sir. There we go.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to 2 Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death.
I love that he just forgot he was telling the story for a moment there. It's a good gag.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
You
The
just
sound of his
respawn.
voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness that grows and consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom closes your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Sadly, he doesn't say, like, and then I died. Like in other games like this. He just continues the story, because the idea is that he is telling the story. You are playing the game that is representing the story.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle. I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back.
Uh-oh.
I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
I died.
I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo Jumbo's right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Uh-oh. There we go.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Uh-oh.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before.
The rock just flies up into the sky.
I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Ooh.
Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
Womp womp. Shame about how that went.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem, might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
It's really good.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
The Dalton brothers.
Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
They call me Bounty Hunter.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition, or you're nobody, Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
What's funny is that we're not playing as Silas here. We're playing as Ben. Also, hey, look, cool map.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
We're doing the Rashomon!
First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait to send the bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns.
I'm gonna kill you dead.
So he went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting.
Yeah, this rules, this entire
A
segment.
moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Huh. Kick in.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett.
Is that
who
Silas
died defending
Greaves?
the
Son
island.
of a bitch! Yeah, you know you can't beat me. Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that.
And then...
Over there!
Uh-oh. Devious. Kick!
Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
And kick!
His name is Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
I love this.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
One more time.
It was early evening, not high noon. I was late to the party and Coffeyville was already up in arms. The Daltons blew up a safe and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
The leader, the lover, the loser, the Dalton brothers. Bob, Emmett, and Grat.
I'd been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville.
Yep, this time we got quick shooters. Now there's the Daltons. Get back here, you crazies.
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout in Tyre.
Did the Daltons hold up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
I love it.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
I mean, that's just how Southern feuds went back then.
It was Emmett, the youngest.
And then the boss arena just rises up.
Me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silent Reeves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Well, look at how huge he is! This man's huge. That means he's got huge guts. Oh, we got him.
Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeeville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
This is true, by the way. He was shot a whole bunch, and he did live.
But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Bounty Hunter is still my name.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track them to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Yeah, we got a whole army of folks with us. We're the hero
It was
now.
only fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
and it becomes foggy and
It was tough to stay
worse
on a true
swamp.
course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks.
I love the little flowing fabric here. Looks cool.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood.
Maple tree just grows out of the ground.
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Bury them and plant them where they stand!
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm. So I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
Ah, swamp. Alright, we're supposed to go in here. Right.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet. But I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Ah, there you go.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Uh-oh. Man who has shotgun, slightly stronger than man who does not have shotgun. This is true. Uh-oh.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. Point being, I was under serious attack.
Die, irritating bastard. This is gonna hurt. Somebody kill that son of a bitch!
That is pretty good. He's Wait, hold on. Oh, that's just a quick shooter. No, bad bugs. Go away, bugs. Bugs in my ear. No, thank you.
A barn materialized as if right before my eyes.
Ooh, a
I
barn.
scrambled up top to get a better view, but just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them.
The barn doors was open.
But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon...
One of the guys is falling asleep.
Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
And then
You were
the
following
people
the
just
Daltons
vanished
through a
because
swamp?
they weren't real.
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
I
Oh,
love
I'm
this
listening.
game.
I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are
Yeah,
made up of
it's
brothers.
not a great
Being a
joke,
brother is a
but-
very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
It's not a good joke, but I see where they were going with it.
Bounty hunter!
Uh-oh.
That son
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. Or Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what.
Let's see what you got.
But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Kill that He has it coming.
Uh-oh. Yeah, let's.
Keep missing.
Yeah, it's not great, and let's.
Those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them. That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board.
Hey,
It was in that a
steamboat.
fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
abandon you. Wanna see me do it again?
Ah. Oh, there. Oh. Ah, well. That happens. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves today. Sorry I've been a little quiet, I've just been a little focused.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
In retrospect, a shot-off shotgun is probably not that very accurate.
Too easy. That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
That is true. Accurate at point blank. And sorry if I have caused some concerns with some of the stuff in this game. It's... I feel bad now. No, it's okay. I'm fine. Just want to make sure everyone else is having fun.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived.
Oh, hey.
Their leader motioned at a
Our
cabin
buddies.
in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Ah, dang it.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
We got tricked. We done got tricked.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh, yeah, but I was in a
Did you hear
fight.
about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed dead. I don't think it'll
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark.
Oh, hey.
It was time to
Chain
settle
gun.
this once and for all.
Where are they? Oh, there they are. The fire is very polite, don't worry.
Bob and Grant weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
This is pretty rad. Aw, dang it, I got hit. Womp womp. Uh-oh. Bang. Oh, there we go.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds.
I shot that man through the hat.
14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers. My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Backstory time. The Wild Bunch. Juarez, 1868.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
And so now we know the story of Silas Greaves. The not-so-great train robbery. Badum-tish. Right, I need to press enter.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
That's unfortunate.
Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Whoop! Don't go in the train. Noted. Don't go in that train, anyway. Oh, wait, no, that's where I have to go, right. Oh, wait, yes. Yes, it is. And yes, he called the Pinkertons clowns. And they are clowns. There. I don't know what happened the first time I went through there. Oh, poor train.
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
Wait, sawed-off rifle? What's the difference between a regular rifle? Whatever.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that ridge.
What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route.
Oh, hey, horse. Whoa. Rude.
But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Jump onto the train, right? Goodness. This is a smart idea! Woo!
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Where do you go from here? Oh, over here. Maybe?
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could. Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Kinda. Nope, that is not where I'm supposed to go. Oh, right. Ladder.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
Like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about. Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Oh, Dwight. The Grand Posse versus the Wild Bunch.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the Wild Bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Just despawning all of them.
Who the hell is that? He's out of his mind! Take cover! Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody! Kill us all!
Kick.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they?
Oh, hey, another minigun.
Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
No, right there they are.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
The third strongest mole in the Wild Bunch. Got him.
That very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
No, I don't. There's one from here. Give me just a second here. Just need to check my phone for something. Okay. Oops. Sorry about that, folks. Just got a little ding on my phone, but things are fine. Let's continue. We continue our pursuit of the Wild Bunch, all to find Bob the... I forget the name of the person. It slipped my mind completely.
I tried to find Bob Bryant,
Bob
but it was
Bryant,
as
right.
if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
That kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he?
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
Pa-pow, pa-pow. Sir? There we go.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Just need to find a clue. Ah, I see. Map on the rock.
Found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
The next morning, outside a Parachute.
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5.
You know, 85, 5, same difference. Oop.
Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged
Not
with
sure that's
dynamite,
100%
so I
accurate
decided
theory.
I'd best be careful confronting those bastards.
Mine dynamite.
A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one.
My dynamite.
Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
I'm sure throwing the dynamite at the enemies will cause no problems at all.
That was too damn close.
So, what happened then?
I had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
I'm sure picking up a lot of sticks of dynamite is not a bad idea at all.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
You gotta shoot the rope.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry about that. Ah! Go away. I'm good now.
Proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
I may have gone the wrong way there. Ah, there we go. Hup! Whoa! I didn't actually jump there. That was really close.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me.
Well, I mean, Fury is also
It was a
American.
long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
Right, but you're English, right? Whoop. Uh-oh. Running against the
burning
fuse.
was so damn quick. I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those spots.
Ah, shit!
My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die. Get off the bridge!
Up. There we go.
I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment.
Woo.
Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today.
That was close. Too close.
Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass, as I was not a young man anymore.
Nah, we got it, Eva.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
What the hell is that guy?
Thanks, Tracer and Kid Curry asked me.
Not even a damn fruit!
Ah, damn it. Yeah, I expected that to happen. Oops. Uh-oh. I definitely meant to throw all those those dynamites. Oh no. I pressed the wrong button a bunch.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Uh-oh. Kid Curry and his Gatling gun. Uh-oh.
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Oh! What? Where was the hatchet man? There was a hatchet man there. Where was he? Uh-oh, oh no!
Kid Curry himself.
There we go.
He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
After all of that, it's time to face Kid Curry himself, who kind of looks like that one prisoner guy from Street Fighter and I think Streets of Rage, Cody. Something about his appearance reminds me of Cody. Got him.
Fast as he was, I was just a bit faster. And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch's Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him. Those were his last words.
What was what? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a little... It's not... That one's not as good as the others have been. It's a little weird.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kinda glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James. The famous outlaw.
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Ah, nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
I do like how the instant Dwight was like, Jesse James, they were like, the guy who killed like 200 people because he's a lunatic? Just to make it clear, not a good person.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way.
That said,
I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
kicking our way through the doors on a train is pretty rad. Like, this is a good idea for a level. Admittedly, it's also been a while, but I know he was part of like a group of I forget all the specific details.
How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
And we rewind again. Legend was, he could stop a train by staring it down. Jesse James.
They hopped a freight train having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Now you're really...
No, uh-oh. You. And kick the door.
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you. I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I appreciate during this moment, the game is just the same room, repeated over and over again.
You met Jesse James?
Boy, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But
bar.
you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!"
It's the damn Pinkertons!
Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother.
Ow. Ah, god damn it. Forgot how quick you can die in this sometimes. And I also missed.
No wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember.
I bet you are. You get...
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward.
Perhaps. Oh god, I almost fell off.
I wondered if I was ever going to find the front of that train. Or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
That's
Yes,
a
I
good
did.
joke.
Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Oh god. Right. I should probably shoot that guy at some point. There we go. No more problems. that's all of them? Yeah, I think that's all of them.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way.
Kick!
And that included Jesse James himself.
And kick!
There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
Kick! Kick! Nothing. No person.
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Wow, that was close.
I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you.
Got him.
Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head.
Whew.
That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to whip my whistle.
Honorably killed, even though he explicitly didn't even die. Also, something that I get that I haven't used at all is this. I have a special move. If I have a full... I can use all of the concentration to enter that bullet time to just extremely kill everyone within range. We may have to use that next level. Because it is pretty fancy. Without forgiveness.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that sumbitch Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the res and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then. Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the Red Man. Like that time... Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir.
Of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men. And the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
So, did you ever find it? The man you are after?
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year?
So, are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son of a bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing.
I love that part of the game so much. I love everything about it, and we will discuss more about it once we get further through the game.
I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close. I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
The James gang. Right. I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin, and he was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite. On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
If I had a nickel for every time I've had to blow up a house as a fight in a video game, it'd be like 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. Weird it's happened twice. Uh-oh. I've died. Damn it. Oh, God, what? I'm getting my ass kicked, which is unfortunate. I need that.
And that son of a bitch! Take him out! He's just one man! Put him down!
There we go.
Bastard dead!
Kaboom! I killed the house.
Old shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life! Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will! At this point, I just don't give a shit!
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him! I never did like that bastard! I am done here!
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
And so we never killed him.
So what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts, as I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again.
Ow. That was the super move, by the way. A lot better when there's more people around.
Willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that son of a bitch out.
Ouch.
Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly.
Don't be rude, Silas.
At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
Eventually, it was just me and Reed.
And here we go.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
And through the
And
shoulder.
repay him I did.
Not bad. Well, that's not the end. There's still one more guy left. There's still one more guy left.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame you never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him.
Back to episode 7, The Wild Bunch.
6 months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
You heard it here first, folks. The Bolivian army ending, they survived.
For 40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now. Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant, that son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, Did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. A man with no family, no friends, no purpose except shooting Bob Bryant dead.
Whoa! Shotgun ambush, Jesus.
Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I'd been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. The town was falling apart, just like me. But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around.
Caw! Birds. I went the wrong way. Help me out, game. Ah, over there. No, not up here.
I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's
Whoa,
corpse.
uh-oh.
But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
You obviously prevailed since you
Actually, in that moment, I did not.
God damn it. That's actually quite interesting, Fury. Also, that was good timing on my part to die then. That makes sense. Stop throwing grenades at me, challenge.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
I mean, you should put it like that, Jack. Because when I woke up...
From the dead?
There was silence all around me.
Complete silence.
I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, there, even over there.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me, guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me. And in the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hardin, just like I remembered. Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun.
God damn it. Go.
But no ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with talking to dogs. Though this segment is amazing, personally. I love this.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Thought?
Oh god. Ah, damn it. I got punched by a ghost.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. Finally,
Oh no!
Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you'd see it live.
He was alive.
Punch.
Then I heard a voice call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
That sucks, Enderlord. Jesus. Butch Cassidy. Sundance Kid. Silas Grieve. The good, the bad, and the dead. Hey, y'all. Ready for a Mexican
But the kid
standoff?
wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Etta's mine. And so is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
Ah, damn it. This one is tricky. Got him.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
That was close. And now for the finale. We've come a long road. We've killed many people. We were warned not to let it consume us, and it kind of has. But, here we are at the end.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob? There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
And then they let us give a choice. We've played this entire game, and this entire time, we've been testing Bob and ourselves. Do we go with revenge or redemption? Now, obviously, this one, revenge, is not a happy ending. So I'm gonna go with redemption here. It's real good.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Wanted to suss you out, Bob. See what kind of man you turned out to be. Maybe prod you into drawing on me. See, all those years on your trail turned me into a killer. Can't even remember who I was before you tried to murder me. You, on the other hand, walked that very same path in exactly the opposite direction.
What do you mean by that?
You think your life is worth sparing, Bob? Boy, what's your name again?
It's Eisenhower, sir. Dwight Eisenhower.
What do you plan to do with your life, Dwight Eisenhower?
Tomorrow I'll be leaving for West Point, sir.
So, you want to be a soldier? Well, then do it right, son. Don't tear down the world out of anger and spite like I did. You build it up. You do something decent with your life, you hear me?
Sir? Yes, sir.
I won't have it said I left you with nothing, Bob.
Yeah. Dwight kind of fucked it at the end there. But yeah, this has been Call of Juarez Gunslinger. It's one of my favorite games because of how it presents things. And here is the song once again.
Won't you spare me over to another you?
So, I love this game and what it does with the medium. The rewinding, the models falling down or rising up from the ground as he tells the story, things changing as he speaks. It's really good. And as a story, it's a really good story of, like, revenge and the way that revenge turns you into a monster sometimes. He lost himself in his mad quest, and it's kind of sad. But at the end, he was able to pull up from it. It's cool. It's quite good. And yeah, it's made by Polish people, if I believe correctly. So yeah, when I first played this, I was like, I like Western stuff, I'll play this. And I was blown away by the presentation of everything. It was very impressive, and I don't know, it is just something that really stuck with me for a while. I like stories about revenge that have a happy ending, where it turns out that the revenge was not good, in fact. Thank you all for accompanying me on this little outing. I don't know what I'll be doing next time because it'll be put up to vote by the lovely people who support me. So I'm going to be as surprised as you are about what we're going to play next. That said, let's not well, first of all, we're not listening to Ubisoft. We don't care about them. But before we leave, we got some nuggets of truth to look at. Because we learned a whole bunch about all these people. Is there anyone you specifically have an interest in? Tell me, and I'll read up on their file a bit. Like I know. Where is it? Where's that man? Yeah, let's look at the Pinkertons. The Pinkerton National Detective Agency, known simply as the Pinkertons, or Pinks by the less favorably inclined, was founded in Chicago by Scottish expatriate Alan Pinkerton. Pinkerton became famous when he supposedly foiled the plot to assassinate President-elect Abraham Lincoln en route to his first inauguration. As a Union spy master, Pinkerton later founded what became the United States Secret Service. Pinkerton detectives offered a wide range of services, from personal protection to private military contracts. At the peak of its power, the agency's roster numbered more than the total active strength of the United States Army. Nobody liked the Pinkertons, but they were especially hated and feared by the outlaws of the Wild West. The railroad and banks paid top dollars for the agency to pursue criminals like Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch or the James Younger Gang. Capturing Jesse James was an obsession for Alan Pinkerton, and later it became a personal vendetta. January 25th, he organized an assault on the home of Zerelda Samuel, Jesse James' mother. The attack, which employed incendiaries among other means, caused the death of Jesse's 8-year-old half-brother, Archie James. The resulting explosion also cost Zerelda an arm. Such a shameful attack on the mother and little brother turned public opinion against the agency and won the James gang new sympathizers. Alan Pinkerton explained afterwards that he never planned to set the James house on fire. That, in fact, turned out to be a complete lie, as a later recovered letter written in his own hand read, "Burn the house down." So yeah, Pinkerton's pieces of shit. This is probably one of my favorites. The Native Americans are the indigenous people of North America. They are composed of numerous distinct Native American tribes, some of which survive to this day as cultural and political entities. According to the accepted theory, migrations of humans from Eurasia to the Americas took place approximately 12,000 years ago via the Bering Land Bridge. Many of these tribes were decimated during the 18th and 19th century as they were pushed out of their homelands by waves of settlers of European origin. As North Americans were divided into many tribes, many of them were long-standing enemies, and they were unable to unite against a common enemy, invaders armed with advanced technology. L. Frank Baum, the author of Wizard of Oz, was among the champions of the complete eradication of the remaining Native Americans. He wrote, I'm not going to read this, just read it with your eyes. This is one of the most racist things I've seen ever. It's crazy. Mere days after the Wounded Knee massacre called massacre, called a battle at the time, despite being nothing more than a bloodbath inflicted by American soldiers on unarmed men, women, and children, L. Frank Baum spoke once again, criticizing the government for not taking even more drastic measures. Just like the ancient Celts conquered the Romans, Native Americans left an invaluable and rich legacy evident in the language, philosophy, and popular culture of modern-day America. And over here we have... Where was it? Yeah, those are some interesting people. There's just a very specific one I wanted to find. Oh yeah, it was Wild West shows. When we think of the Wild West, we imagine cowboys driving enormous herds of cattle, saloons with dancing girls, gunfights at high noon, stagecoach robberies, and handsome heroes coming to the rescue. Every bit of it is sensational, romanticized claptrap. So where did our idea of the American frontier of the 19th century come from? William Frederick Cody, or Buffalo Bill, his nickname, earned by slaughtering over 4,000 bison in the course of 18 months to feed railroad workers, sold this picture of the Old West to an Eastern audience, both American and European, while Buffalo Bill's Wild West, a live show combining elements of the circus and theater. To the audience's delight, Cody recreated various historical events, showcased famous and authentic celebrities like Wild Bill Hickok, Annie Oakley, and Sitting Bull, presented iconic situations associated with life on the frontier, employed sharpshooters, riders, and real Native Americans. It was a perfect, idealized version of the Wild West set to rousing music. Cody had numerous imitators attending so-called Wild West shows, became very popular east of the Mississippi. This is neat. Which one is the one that I'm thinking of? That's just the Civil War. Yeah. Ah, there it is. Spotted elk, also known as Bigfoot, was a Minneconjou Lakota Suk chief who bravely fought the white aggressors. He died, like many of his brothers, on December 29, 1890, in the so-called battle known today as the Wounded Knee Massacre. Cochise of the Chiricahua Apache, known among his people as Ada Tlicho, was a war chief who led a long campaign against the United States Army. He evaded capture many times and continued raids against white settlements until 1872. A treaty was negotiated by General Oliver O. Howard, and Cochise ended up on a reservation run by his only white friend, Tom Jeffords. He died in 1874 of natural causes, and his descendants are said to currently reside at the Mescalero Apache Reservation in New Mexico. Goyathle was Cochise's successor in a way. Known better as Geronimo, he won numerous victories over long years of fighting. Mexican soldiers killed his mother, wife, and 3 children in 1858. He vowed revenge, and as a war chief, he constantly raided Mexican provinces and their towns, and later American settlements across Arizona, New Mexico, and western Texas. He surrendered to the U.S. authorities in 1886, and became somewhat of a celebrity, even appearing in Wild West shows. But he was never able to return to the land of his birth. He died of pneumonia in 1909, and confessed to his nephew that he regretted his decision to surrender, saying, "I should have fought until I was the last man alive." Sitting Bull, or Tatanka Iyotaki, the victor of Little Bighorn, and later a performer at Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, was a Hunkpapa Lakota Suk old, I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry, I should know better, holy man who led his people against the encroachment of the white man. He was killed by 2 Native American policemen in the service of the United States government during an attempt to arrest him and prevent him from supporting the Ghost Dance movement. These and many other Native Americans were forced to live in an impossible world. Their lands and way of life were stolen and replaced with a world that didn't understand or want any part of it. They were murdered both by bullets and blankets infected with smallpox. They died from disease and starvation and exposure as they were shunted onto reservations. Today, we recognize the destruction of the Native Americans and their culture as a genocide that it was. Fortunately, history has not forgotten them, and now we can celebrate them as perhaps the only authentic heroes of the American West. Actually reading this for the first time really got to me because, like, I'm from Canada. We have a lot of work put towards making sure that this sort of stuff gets publicized. Like, we want to make the reparations and stuff, and seeing something mainstream talk about it was pretty cool. Yeah, and also, since it was mentioned by someone in the chat, let's take a look at also Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. Born in Illinois on March 19th, 1848, he lived a long and storied life, finally passing away in Los Angeles, California on January 13th, 1929. At one time or another, he was a farmer, bouncer, saloon keeper, dealer, prospector, boxing referee, teamster, buffalo hunter, words, and most famously, a sheriff. He was celebrated mainly for his role in the Wild West's most famous shootout, the gunfight at OK Corral. The fast lasted all of 30 seconds, and those seconds defined him for the rest of his days. The fracas led to what became known as the Vendetta Ride. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and a few other compadres exacted violent revenge on the men who believed responsible for the wounding of Virgil Earp and the murder of younger brother Morgan. The vendetta ended with Wyatt personally... Yes, thank you, Razir. Wyatt personally shooting the then leader of the Cowboys, Curly Bill Brocious. Or at least that's the legend. Tall for his time, stocky, and quite clearly fearless, he often dealt with outlaws without ever drawing his revolver. He claims to have never been shot, and if that's true, that's an amazing feat, considering all the hot lead that flew by him in his lifetime. It's not surprising that he became an icon, sparkling the imaginations of countless filmmakers, biographers, and writers. His name is instantly recognizable to those who don't know much about the history of the American West. Doc Holliday is here, right? I don't think Doc Holliday is here, actually, so we're gonna look at two more of these. First is Grey Wolf, because although not a real the person in game is not a real person. It is based on an actual real person from real life, and they give a good and interesting information about him. As it happens, history does not know of any great Native American leaders bearing the name Grey Wolf. There was one chief with that name, but he was also an officer in the United States Army. George Crook made his name serving the Civil War and the Indian Wars. He fought against the Paiute, the Sioux, and the Apaches led by Geronimo. The latter, as a token of respect for Crook, named him Nantan Lupan, which means Grey Wolf. Crook was outraged at the imprisonment of the Chiricahua Apaches, who served the American Army faithfully, only to be incarcerated alongside Geronimo's rebels. Crook made numerous appeals to Washington, but as was to be expected from the U.S. government at the time, they had no effect. A shame. Cool guy. Shame it didn't work out. The other one I wanted to look at was it this one? Ah, yes. The Vigilante Committees. The Vigilance Committees. This one was just amusing to me. In the Wild West, where the law either didn't exist or was represented by corrupt authorities, groups of citizens called vigilante committees often took the law into their own hands. These citizens acted as judge, jury, and executioner, often hanging the accused from the closest tree. Ugh. Their guilt was often anything but assured. Some of these vigilantes became local folk heroes and often gained considerable influence. Such was the case of the Montana vigilantes, responsible for hanging Henry Plummer and 21 other suspects. Ironically, they accused these men of belonging to a mysterious gang called the Innocents. The last of those unfortunate souls was hung for merely voicing doubts in regards to the guilt of his friends. What was even more suspicious was that after Plummer and the rest of the suspects were hung, the gold robberies continued unabated. Some say that the Montana vigilantes were the true bandits. many of the early stories that pointed the finger of guilt at the innocents were written by a member of the Vigilantes, the editor of the Montana Post. This is fucked up, honestly. Like, this one has always been, like, funny in a dark way to me. Like, oh, the gang called the Innocents were probably actually innocent. But yeah, that has been Call of Juarez, Gunslinger. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you all have a lovely night. Take care, everybody.